Good morning and welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, Love Talk on Babz Rawls-Ivy. I am delighted to welcome back Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysiewicz. Good morning. Happy holidays.
Good morning. Happy holidays. And so nice to see you virtually. What a beautiful day. And it's good because Santa Claus has more work to do at my house. I don't know what about your house, but at my house, Santa is not done with her list.
Listen, I don't have a list this year. When you have grown children, you just give them money. You know what I mean? Like
I know. So yeah, of course, I got a couple of those grown kids, and that's what we're doing. But I got younger nieces, nephews, and little
oh yeah.
fun, right?
Yeah, I don't have that either. All my nieces and nephews are grown, like my children are grown. So, and none of them have started families. So
Well, that is coming, and actually with my two daughters, they do not have children, but one has a wedding fund, so that's a good sign.
Oh, hope is in the air. Yay.
Indeed.
How are you otherwise?
We've had a very busy year. The governor and I just did a press conference with our treasurer and our controller to remind people that we've got a tax cut coming up this year.
I know everybody's all buzzed about this. What is going on?
Yeah, well, so here's the amazing thing, right? We're now working on our sixth balanced budget, but we've been paying down debt. So we've paid down over $7 billion of debt. And we actually were in a position to enact a cut to the income tax, particularly for lower and middle income families, right, who need the tax cut the most. So it's very exciting. So if you are a single filer and you make $100,000 or less, you can look to get an extra $300 next year. Excuse me. Yeah, in the 2024 tax year. And if you're a family where there's a joint filing going on for $150,000 or less, that's for $600. So it's substantial. And also we increased for this tax year the earned income tax credit. So for working families that qualify for that, we've increased it from 30.5% to 40%. So that's another really good tax benefit for families.
Okay. So Connecticut is doing it.
Yeah, we're on a roll. So 1.1 million tax filers. So 1.1 million people are going to get the benefit of those tax cuts, which is, very, very good.
So what else is what
That's
else
the
are y'all
holiday cheer I have for you.
I love it. What else? Because y'all had there was a whole year of stuff going on and
Yes, it was.
activities and
It was. Well, so another thing we were celebrating actually in New Haven earlier this week, the governor and I were celebrating the clean slate bill.
yes, I saw that.
And what was great was the governor actually had an eraser on a big chalkboard and he got to erase more than 80,000 low-level convictions that will be erased from people's records, and as you know, if you have a criminal conviction on your record, it can hold you back when you're looking for housing, when you're applying for jobs, you're looking to get into school, all of those things, housing, all of those things can be a problem if, folks are looking at one past conviction that doesn't represent who you are anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Particularly those youthful offenders,
oh yeah,
it's things that you've done and happened to you when you were a teenager, right? Now you're
that's
grown up into the world and you want to do grown up things. You want to get your own place, or you might want to go to school, or all the I mean it just affects so much. I mean if you want to get life insurance, I mean it affects a lot of different things
it
when you have
does.
that record.
It does. And so finally, we are in a place where anybody who had a conviction from 2000
Mm-hmm.
going forward can have that lower level conviction erased. And that will happen automatically if the offense was from 2000 going forward. And for those folks who are saying, hey, I was convicted of something in 1995 that was a low level offense, because those are paper records, the way to get that erased is to go to a judge. There's a form that you can fill out, and a judge will have to erase all the convictions that occurred before the year 2000.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So there is recourse for people who might think they missed the year 2000
that's right. Oh,
threshold.
absolutely, absolutely. And there's a simple process. So you would fill out the application, bring it to the judge, and then the judge would take care of that for you.
So Susan, would you say this is a progressive act? Like who else in the country is doing this kind of work? Do you know?
We are leading on this issue. And so now I think since we've done it, several other states have joined us, but we were one of the first states
Mm-hmm.
in the country to do this.
And this
And
one, yes, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, so the People Not Prisons folks were, leading the charge, and they were very effective in their advocacy. And I think, in New Haven, Gary Winfield and Gary's influence is statewide because he is one of the co-chairs of the Judiciary Committee. But I think it was Gary's leadership also, and the leadership of Representative Steve Staffstrom of Bridgeport, that really made a big difference.
Mm. Well, I always say, I was talking about this the other day, Gary Winfield is a long game player. Like, how, because I don't think people understand how hard it is to move legislation, to get everybody on board, to get everybody to like want to do it. I mean, it's a long process. It's not like, oh, we think this is a good idea, let's get it done. It's, oh, we think this is a good idea. We got to talk to everybody and see who we could get buy-in from and who thinks this is a good idea. So he's a long range thinker and a long
He
range
is, but
player.
I will say that, there was, I think there was one unsuccessful attempt the prior year, and
Mm-hmm.
then there was a much more successful attempt, because sometimes it takes advocacy, and I can tell you that based on my experience trying to get public financing passed in Connecticut, right? I mean, my forehead was very flat for a long time because I was beating my head against the wall, but sometimes it just takes a while for a good
Mm-hmm.
idea to be popularly accepted, you know? So you're right about Gary. Robin Porter was also at that same event because she's a huge advocate as well.
Mm-hmm. She is.
And Steve Staffstrom said that in his city, he has 900 people coming out of the corrections system every year, right? That go, well, at least last year, coming back to to Bridgeport. And Bridgeport has some very innovative reentry programs going on, so that when people leave the correction system, they have support, job training, housing help if they need it, transportation, all of those things, childcare, all of the things that you need in order to be successful, to get a job and get yourself back to work so that you can be productive for yourself and your family.
And now, you know, Susan, do you think people are starting to understand the need for reentry programming and legislative things like erasing people's past records? That I mean, do you feel like, because I remember a time, Lieutenant Governor, where people just did not want to entertain anything about people who were incarcerated or
Oh,
formerly
I think
incarcerated.
they do. I think they do. And so that's why there are places like the Welcome Center in Hartford, and I visited it. And it's amazing because there will be people that will help you with your resume, help you get into particular job training programs. People who will help you with the housing, the transportation, whatever you're going to need. And as I pointed out at this press conference about the clean slate, is that right now we have 100,000 job openings. So if we want to grow our economy, we need to welcome back the people who are coming out of the correction system, because it'll help them and it'll help our employers. And to your point about, do people recognize this? Yes, they do. And I'll give you an example. I was talking to the vice president of human resources at Electric Boat, and I asked him how he was doing finding the thousands of people that he needs to help them build those subs that they have federal contracts for. And he said, Susan, there are two places where we are looking to get people to help us do that. And I said, what are those two groups of people? And he said, people coming out of the correction system. And he said, people who are new to this country. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So if you have a defense contractor that's a Fortune 500 company that's saying, hey, we need the people coming out of the correction system, I think that's pretty much a recognition that almost everybody gets it, or they should. But the people who need employees get it, that's for sure.
I like that. So with that being said, you know, because everybody's having an immigration conversation, right? Everybody is having a border conversation, even states that are not on the border. What's Connecticut's take on this? Like, where are we with folks, immigrants coming?
So, you know, look, we're a state of immigrants, right? My parents were both the children of immigrants from Poland and Greece. Like, unless you are an indigenous person from one of our Connecticut tribal nations, you came from somewhere else, right? And the only difference between us is how long ago did your forebears come, right? So, and we have a very high percentage of immigrants in our state. It's 1 in 10 people are immigrants. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, and by the way, right now, Connecticut has the 7th best economy in the country, which, you know, we weren't always up that high. And why is that? And I think it's because we have all these new people coming to our state from other countries who are bringing their talent, their culture, their work ethic, right? So the governor and I want to make our state a welcoming place. And there are some fantastic organizations like IRIS that's based
Mm-hmm.
in New Haven
Mm-hmm.
that takes refugee families and individuals and helps them to get jobs, to start businesses. And I think that work and those people who come from other places make us stronger. And I'll just end with this. One of the things that makes me just feel red, white, and blue all over is when I go to an immigration and naturalization ceremony, and I was just at one at Mystic Seaport where there were people from 53 different countries taking the oath to become citizens. It's just incredible. People want to come to our country and they sure want to come to Connecticut. And I think it's a good thing that they come because they're making our state better every day.
That's a good message, Lieutenant Governor, because that's not the message other states are stepping into. Like other states are really feeling a different kind of vibe about this. Those border
Indeed.
states. So,
Indeed.
yeah. So, all right. So, is Connecticut in good fiscal shape? Are we? I mean, I know we have the seventh.
Best economy. Yeah. So I think we're doing really well. I mentioned we're working on our sixth balanced budget. The governor and I, since we took office in 2019, so we'll be before the legislature in February to talk about our new budget. We just had our second tax cut. We had one last year that was about $400 million. This year, the tax cut is $460 million, and part of it is the biggest tax cut that we've ever seen since the income tax was established 30 years ago. We've paid down $7.3 billion in debt, and that's kind of like paying down your mortgage. When you pay down your mortgage, it reduces your mortgage principal. It reduces your debt costs, right? So we are now saving about $500 million every year because our debt service is less. So that means we can be investing in people. So that would be education. That would be early childhood education. We have free community college for eligible people in our state. We are working on an initiative to expand our early childhood education spots for infants through, kids that are 4 years old. Investing in people, in my estimation, is the most important thing, because if you invest in those early childhood and education programs, right, it makes people successful and it makes them productive. So to me, that's the best part about having more money available, is you can put it into job training also, which is something we desperately need since we have so many openings in state government. If you need something to do, apply for a job with the state of Connecticut. Check out the Department of Administrative Services website. We're looking for hundreds of people in our Department of Transportation, Environmental Protection, great salaries, great health benefits. Check it out. Manufacturing is looking, healthcare, like you name the sector, and people are needed. So if you ask me what's our biggest challenge going forward, I think it's to keep growing our economy. We're going to need trained people. And so, that's why we welcome people. You mentioned some states. There are states that have banned abortion. There are states that are doing things that I don't think are particularly welcoming to people. And that's why the governor and I invite people to come to Connecticut, because, we embrace diversity. I think we're a very inclusive state. We're recognized for being one of the best states in the country for women and families, for the LGBTQ plus community. So I think that's a good thing. And I think, that is responsible for people coming to Connecticut. I've met people who said, I moved up here from Florida because I just, it was exhausting. And yeah, I met a gentleman at a Pride parade and he said he moved from Florida to Connecticut because he felt much more welcomed, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm. So, we are, I don't think we're post-COVID, but we're kind of post-COVID or whatever. COVID is still with us. What is the state's place and where we are with COVID right now?
Well, I'll just take this opportunity to remind people before you go to those holiday Christmas parties, New Year's Eve parties, holiday gatherings. Please, please, please get a flu shot, get a COVID-19 shot, get an RSV shot. I've gotten both the COVID vaccine and the flu shot because I wanted to be ready to be around my family members, for the holidays. And, we're seeing a spike because it's cold outside and people are, gathering for parties and the things that you do around holiday time. And that's when you see a spike. So I was just reading one of our epidemiologists today was saying, COVID is on the uptick. It looks like RSV is going down. That's a good thing. But unfortunately, we're seeing several hundred people die of COVID and of the flu each month, particularly elderly people. So I know people are tired of COVID. We're all tired of it, right? But please go to CVS, go to Walgreens, go to your doctor. If you're able, get a flu shot, get a COVID shot, get an RSV shot, because it'll keep you safe. It'll keep your family members safe. Also, it'll keep you able to go to work, right? And not spread stuff. So
Yes, yes, yes. So in looking back over 2023 and as we move to 2024, um, what was the most enjoyable thing that you worked on in 2023?
oh my goodness, that's a tough one. One, in addition to getting our fiscal house in order, which I think is just, the important work that we did, one really great thing that we did was we banned child marriage in Connecticut.
Was that
Now,
a thing?
it's a thing. It was a thing. Someone did some research and found there was no minimum age to marry in Connecticut.
Oh,
I know, strange, right? And then I think it was in 2016, the legislature, or 2017, the legislature passed a bill making the minimum 15 or 16 with probate court approval.
oh my God.
I know. So fast forward, all the states around us, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, passed laws saying that the minimum age should be 18. And I chair the Council on Women and Girls, and we put that forward, and we had so much support from the public health community, from the folks who worry about human trafficking, and from advocates of women. And there's a group of women who were very passionate advocates for this because they had lived through child marriages. And it was finally passed. And it was, to your point about sometimes it takes a while to make things happen. And I didn't want Connecticut to be a place where human traffickers would want to come because they could marry a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old in order to prevent themselves from getting prosecuted, for human trafficking. And also this is something that affects young men too. And so I was really happy to get that done because there were marriages like this, marriages between adults, mainly adult men, and young girls.
Whoa.
I
That's,
know.
I had no idea. I always just thought you had to be 18. I had no idea that you could be so much younger because, 18 is I mean, we say you can't buy cigarettes and you can't buy beer. I mean, you know what I mean? We say 21 and this and that and the other thing. That's tough.
Yeah, no. And to your point, right? How can you be married at 16 if you can't enter into a contract to rent an apartment, to open a credit card, to you can't execute a contract, but you can get married at 16, right? It did not make sense at all. You can vote at 18, right? You can get a credit card at 18. You can rent an apartment at 18. You can sign a legally binding contract. It just seemed that would be the natural age for people to marry, but they need to be 18 in order to do that, just matched up with all of our other laws.
Mm-hmm. So when you think about 2024, moving into 2024, what do you want to work on? Is there some burning issue that you like, this is the year we're going to get it done? And what is the outlook for 2024 from where you sit?
So, we are still seeing, we still have a really good rainy day fund. We have $3 billion in a rainy day fund, which is there in case there is a downturn. So things at the moment look good. I think the biggest thing that the governor and I want to work on, well, there are two issues. One, more affordable housing, and also making sure that we have very robust job training pipelines so that people can get jobs in high paying fields like manufacturing. Those, to me, matching people with good paying jobs and job training, and also making sure that we have places that are affordable for people to live, for our kids that are coming back from college, or for our elderly parents, that they can stay in the town or city where they raise their kids. So I think those two challenges are going to keep us pretty busy.
That sounds like a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot. That's a lot. All right. So what does your husband buy good Christmas gifts for you? Do you look forward to his gifts?
Don't
get in trouble now. I don't want you to get in trouble.
Calling me because I sent him out to do a few of Santa's errands. You know what? I'm just going to say this about my husband. He is one patient man. Put up with the demands of my job. I always tell people, I do not have a normal job. It is a 24/7 kind of job. And I have been in public life for quite a while, and we've been married 35 years and we're still going. So
congratulations.
Yeah.
And so are you a good gift buyer for him?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's from the South. He loves bourbon.
Oh, that's my kind of guy.
Oh, there you go. Okay, then. So, yep. So Santa Claus has taken care of that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And I bet you ordered it from someplace really, really special. Really, really good.
Yes, I shop local, so I made sure that we supported our small businesses here in Connecticut, and I would
I love it.
all of your listeners, because New Haven has such wonderful shops, and great things to do, great food, best pizza in the world. So I hope everybody who is watching and listening is enjoying all that. And Babz, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, Lieutenant Governor, this is your home. Anytime you want to come on, I want you to just feel free. You have a great communications director, and she is so sweet and kind and friendly, and she just reaches out, and it's just always such a good spirit with her. So thank her for me.
Well, I got some great women that work in my office, so thank you so much. And
I can't imagine. I want you to enjoy your holidays
thank
and
you.
get some rest if you can.
Thank
And
you so much. And you enjoy, and let's talk again in 2024.
absolutely, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you so
All
much
right.
for being a guest.
Of course. Thank you. Take
All
care.
righty. Take care. Take care.
I know.
So, yes, that was Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysiewicz. She always comes on this show, which I love. So I feel like, we're like girlfriends. I like when she comes on. And I like the way she talks about Connecticut. And I like that she said, Connecticut is a welcoming place. And that's why I'm still here, because Connecticut is a welcoming place. So listen, I'm gonna bounce out of here, and I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your day. Christmas is Monday, so you still have time to like make your way around local. I'm in New Haven, so there's Bloom, there's Possible Futures, there's Idiom, there's Dwell. There's the sister that owns the soap, shea butter, lotions, potions shop next to Dwell. There's a lot of places that you can do some real good shopping. And don't forget museums and the galleries. They have gift shops. So, uh, make your way around New Haven, and get you some good ass pizza while you're at it. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you. And thank you, Harry and Paul.